Alright, so we're giving this video a second go because the first one was too long. Just a little behind the scenes cut there. So today we're talking about identifying types of slope. Today we're just talking about them in the graphs themselves. When you get into 2B, you'll be giving slopes a numerical value. 2A, you'll be giving them a numerical value, but 2B, you'll be doing it without the graphs at all. So today we're just looking generally at the four types of slope. So we have positive, negative, undefined, and zero slope. So that's the wrong pen. We're off to a hot start. So positive, negative, zero, and undefined. So starting with positive slope, variables are positively related. So what this means is as the x value gets bigger, so does the y value. And so long story short, we know in a graph, I don't want that tool. I put a point on 0, 0. For the x value to get bigger, it would have to move to the right. And for the y value to get bigger, it would have to move up. So what this means for slope is, in order for it to have a positive slope, our line has to pass something like that. So it has to get bigger in both aspects. Now, in a more general sense even than that, how I tell if things are positive or a negative slope, we're just ignoring zero and undefined for now because those are more memorization. For me to figure out if something has a positive slope, what I do, positive or negative, I put a dot on the furthest left point on my graph. So on the line that I'm testing, I put my dot on the furthest point. And then I draw a little dotted line to the right. And if my line that they give me goes above that dotted line, then it's positive. That's how I tell. So as I move from left to right, is that line going up or down? If it's going up, it's positive. If it's going down, it's negative. So we also have our negative slope. So negative slope is the variables are negatively related. So as the x value gets bigger, the y value gets smaller. So once again, fancy words to show a relatively straightforward concept. So I put my dot on the furthest left-hand point of the line, so as far left as I can go, and then I draw a little horizontal line to the right. Now, if my line goes above that horizontal line, if it's going up, it's positive. It's not in this case, it's going down and to the right, which means this slope would be negative. So long story short, if you draw that horizontal line in from the furthest left point like I did on those two, as you go to the right, if the line's going up, it's positive. If it's going down, it's negative. That's really the nuts and bolts, quickest way I can tell you. Now, undefined slope. Undefined and zero slopes are kind of goofy, and it's just a memorization thing, so I'd make sure you copy these into your notes 100%. Really all four of them, but especially undefined and zero slope. So undefined slope is where the x value never changes. So that means it's a vertical line. So vertical lines, of course, being a line that goes straight up and down. So anytime you have a line that goes up and down, it's going to be an undefined slope. And zero slope is going to be the exact opposite. So the y value never changes. So it's a horizontal line. So it just goes straight across, left to right. And like I said, those are just purely memorization. And 90% of your problems are going to give you a line, and you're going to be asked to state whether the slope is positive, negative, undefined, or zero. 4 options. That might be multiple choice. Crazy concept. All right, so the other questions might ask you to draw a line with a positive slope. Now, you could draw these lines 500 different ways. All that's important is to know that as you go from left to right, it has to go up. So if I put a dot here and then I go up, it's positive. I could go up, it's positive. I could do one like that and it would be positive. As you go from left to right, You just have to be going up. Now, on the converse, if you're going from left to right and it goes down, it's negative. So if they ask you to draw a line with a negative slope, you could draw it like that. You could draw it like that. You could draw it like that. So just as you move your pen to the right, it also has to move down for it to be a negative slope. Now, undefined and zero slopes. So this one asks for undefined, which if we remember those two things that we were supposed to memorize, undefined means that the x value does not change, which means the line goes straight up and down. So that would be undefined. This would be undefined. This little itty bitty adorable line would be undefined. So on and so forth. Anything that's straight up and down. And then a zero slope would go left and right. So this would be a zero slope. This would be a zero slope. This would be a zero slope, kind of, even though it changed a little bit. So zero slopes, horizontal. They go left and right only. Undefined, they go up and down only. Negatives, as you go from left to right, they go down. Positive, as you go left to right, they go up. Have a great rest.